All right, guys, welcome back to the shack. And today we're going to be going over a machine. This machine is a 70-watt CO2. It's been touted as a smart desktop CO2, and it's kind of along the lines of some of the other machines that we've seen where it has the auto batch software and all that built into it and all those things. So this machine is the Mega from Monport. It's a 70-watt water-cooled CO2 machine. Mechanically speaking, not a bad machine, but there's some stuff you guys need to know. So that's what we're going to go over today. And if you're into something like that, stick around and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so first off, I wasn't planning on dropping a video just yet. I've been doing lots of testing and lots of emailing back and forth in chats back and forth with Monport's R&D department, their engineers and all those guys. All right, so before anybody says anything, I'm not knocking on Monport. I respect Monport as a company. I've had several of their machines. They work great. I've still got my 30-watt Mopa that's made by Monport. Love the machine, okay? That machine has nothing to do with this machine. So with that said, I had not planned on doing a video yet because I was trying to give Monport a chance to work some of the bugs out of the machine. As with any new machine, and I've had lots of new machines, there's going to be bugs. There's going to be bugs in the software. There's going to be issues that have to be addressed. I really didn't expect anything different from Monport. Yes, Monport's been around for a long time. They've made lots of Lightburn compatible machines. I like their Lightburn compatible machines. They decided to take a shot at the smart desktop CO2. Was that a good decision? Possibly not. Let me know what you think after the video's over with. All right, so I don't normally make notes, but just for the sake of this video, in case you're watching this video and it's been a few months, okay? Today is April the 19th, 2025, and this machine, I just updated the firmware and the software today, the Monport software. The software that it's running is version 1.3.0, and the firmware is 1.0.2.0. So let's get that little caveat out of the way. So if you're watching this in the future, this may not apply to you. Hopefully they'll be getting these issues fixed pretty soon. All right, mechanically speaking, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like what they did. The machine is solid. The way that they've kind of molded this thing makes it more like an extrusion so that the material, although thin and not really supported by a whole lot of really thick material, it's very rigid and it doesn't bend or move around. The inside of the machine, the way that they put everything together, I really I like the way it looks. It looks professional. It looks good on the inside. As you can see, it's got a nice, huge honeycomb. One ball drop that I did find with the honeycomb is it has this pass-through right here on the front. And the pass-through is pretty handy. It's pretty good size, and that's very heavy. It's a pretty handy pass-through, and the honeycomb comes in and out of there fairly easy. You can see I've been doing some cutting and stuff since the last time I emptied my crumb tray. Like the crumb tray design. I like the way the honeycomb goes in through the front of the machine like this rather than trying to get it down through the top. Some of the machines that I have, you have to put the honeycomb down through from the top, and that's just a bit of a pain. So Monport, kudos on doing this. The one thing that I will ding them on that I wish they'd have done differently, and this is probably because of some of the add-ons that they plan on doing later, is they put a little block over here to stop the honeycomb when you push it in. But there's not one on the other side, and this honeycomb's got just a little bit of slop in it so that it doesn't sit exactly square. I like to be able to use jigs, and I like for my honeycomb not to be moving around. So I think there's room for a little bit of an improvement there. That's not something that's a deal breaker for me because most machines do this, and I can DIY something to fix that problem. The biggest issue mechanically that I have with this machine, guys, and I'll show you a picture over here on the corner of the screen. This air assist setup was vastly underpowered. Like, it was charring everything I tried to engrave. I had fires and flames and all that. Eventually, I found a kinked hose up here in the drag chain where the air line comes through. I managed to do a little DIY manipulation to that, added a piece of hose and got some slack into it so it wasn't binding it there. Did kind of like a working loop. I'll show you a photo of it here. I got that resolved, but then once, you know, I got that fixed, I had better pressure going to the nozzle, but I still wasn't getting those good results that I like. And so what I wound up finding, and I'm going to throw a picture up also of this, is the hole in the nozzle was way oversized. It could have been lots smaller than what it is. So I used mine and Steve's little trick, and this is the fix that I come up with. A little painter's tape over the hole, and then I used a laser to burn a hole through the painter's tape, thus restricting the size of the outlet. Doing this, I was able to get a lot better results from the air assist, but without this, the pump's underpowered and it doesn't do a good job. I did, however, hook it up to my shop air, and with the larger hole, my shop air dialed in correctly, did a really good job. So without changing the nozzle, you could have a higher output pump or put it on shop air. It would work better. I really wish some of these desktop CO2s, like I said, I kind of wish they would go with a little more of a overpowered air assist and then let you be able to dial it down if you need to, instead of the other way around, because you can't really dial one up. So got that fixed, and that got the machine to where it would work pretty well. But keep in mind, guys, I'm running this thing in Lightburn because their software, I got it to do some basic stuff. Like I can import SVGs and stuff like that, and I can burn things. I can set the settings, but I got to know what those settings are. And currently they do not have a speed and power test in their Monport software. So that was a big hang up. So I did also in the Monport software try the automatic batch selection, and I'll throw you a little clip of video here. It didn't go so well, all right? So I think there's some work to be done on the machine. I haven't tested all of these advanced features, but I did go this morning and turn all of my sensors back on, the flame sensor, the water temperature sensors, as well as the flow sensors, and immediately I got a water flow sensor trigger and a flame sensor trigger, and there wasn't even any material in it, so I don't know what the deal was with that. But so I have went back to Lightburn, and I've got it running okay in Lightburn. The way that it works in Lightburn is I've had to create macros, and basically the macro assumes where the machine is once it is homed, and it basically assigns a Z-axis offset based on the thickness of the material, and there's some math to do. But I'll show you these little macros that I've built up here, and those work. Now, they're getting me by. It's working, okay? All right, guys. Again, I am not in any way beating up on Monport, okay? Like I said, my fiber laser works great. The K40 or M40 that I used to have, it was very basic, but it worked, okay? What they've gotten into is they're trying to keep up with some of the other companies that are doing the smart machines. And I think they're heading in that direction, but this was a little early. It was a little premature, I think, as far as the release goes, and it's got some issues. So, if you want to use this machine, if you're a Monport person and you want to use it in Lightburn, can you do things with it? Yes. Is it kind of clunky? Is it going to require you to measure your material, create macros? Yes, it is. You're still going to have to contend with the underpowered air assist until they fix that as far as the mechanical part of the air assist. But with the painter's tape cheat, you can get by. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So when I first got this machine, and I was playing around with it, you know, I've got several other machines. I've ran CO2s before. I started playing around with the machine, doing some testing, adjusting things. Tried it again. And I'm not getting any cuts, but I'm getting lots of char. And finally is when I got all the bugs worked out of the air assist, and I started playing around with like zero focus right there. That is focused the way that I set up the macro, the way that Monport told me to set up the macro for Lightburn, and that's the results from that. All right, so then I did a minus 1.5, which is going down into the material, 1.5 millimeters, and I was able to get this. All of this is, these last three here are being done with my modified air assist. As you can see, compared to the first one, a lot better results. This is the first one I did with the Mega. This is before I did any modifications to the air assist. I did nothing to the machine, okay? And then I did this one with the same, this is the same machine, same power and speed test. I didn't change anything except for the focus. I dropped the focus down 1.5 millimeters and I fixed the air assist issue. So I've sent all of this data. I've sent everything that I'm telling you guys. I have told Monport. They've gotten back and told me that they're going to pass it on to their R&D and their engineers and let them know. They did agree with me that obviously there was an issue with the oversized aperture on the air assist. However, they said that the reason it was that way was because during the alignment of the beam, they wanted the hole to be big enough so that there wouldn't be an impact with the nozzle. And I get that, but that's where tight tolerances in machining and parts come into play. And if you have to have that bigger hole because maybe the machining's not that great or there's a little slack in it, that's fine. But you need to go ahead and add a little bit bigger air pump so that you can throw more pressure through that bigger hole. Because the way that I've managed to make this work is because I've decreased the size of the exit for the amount of air that I've got, which increases pressure at the exit. But if you change the pump out and pump more air towards that hole, and then when it came out, you could do the same thing. So the only option they have is either shrink the hole or add a bigger pump. I think it needs a bigger pump regardless. So I just supersize the pump, leave the hole like it is. That way, if anybody's aligning their lenses, they still don't have any issues. But that's where I'm at on the machine, guys. And I hate to do a video like of this nature. I have really worked hard, like for the past 2 or 3 weeks, to try to work with them to get solutions to these problems. And so far, I just haven't been able to. Now, I know they're working on it. I'm hopeful, and I feel like they were going to continue to work on it. But I didn't want any of you guys that saw that I had the machine and that I was in their commercial talking about this machine. I didn't want any of you guys to take for granted where I was at on it. So here you go. That's where I stand on it. The software that they've got, the Monport software, it isn't there yet. I really wish they had made this machine, and instead of doing all the smart features, I wish Monport offered this machine as a dumb machine to where it is a Lightburn compatible, fully compatible with Lightburn machine, because the mechanics and the speed of this machine, the power of the machine, the way it's built with automatic Z, those are some pretty cool features. But I think we went a little too high tech and it's created quite a few bugs. So maybe there'll be a Lightburn friendly version of it come out with a different controller, because I know they got them. I've got friends that have machines that are Monport machines that are CO2s that work off of Lightburn, and they work great. So maybe we throw one of those controllers in this guy, fix the camera so it works, and beef up the pump. But until next time, guys, I hope this helps. And like I said, not throwing shade at Monport. It's not a bad company. This is just a little bit of a ball, a little bit of a fumble as far as the machine goes, in my opinion. And other people may have a different opinion. There's a couple of other people out there that have the machine. Feel free to reach out to them and ask them, what is your thoughts? What is your experience? Does Clack have a lemon? Maybe I do. Am I, maybe not understanding how to work the software? It's possible. Very unlikely, but possible. So I hope this helps, guys, and maybe Monport's still speaking to me. So until next time, be safe and have a good day.